Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and in just a moment we're going to be looking at some hands I played on the 10 and L Party Poker Fast Forward Streets yesterday. I wasn't going to do this as a video because I've got all my content for the week, but I've got my homework to do. It's 9:10 in the morning. Games aren't running. I've got to do my homework, so I may as well just record it and whack an extra video out. Please, if you don't mind, hit like. Would it really hurt you? Would it really break your arm to comment? Even if it's just you fat shit or anything, just fucking comment. It wouldn't break. It wouldn't hurt you. Just do it, please. And I don't care what the comment is. Literally don't care. In fact, the more amusing and abusive it is, probably the better, because I'd be more amused by that. But yeah, just get involved a bit, and yeah, if you don't mind ever so much. So I've got an hour and a half. I'm going to break this into, well, it depends how long it takes. Maybe one video, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how long it takes. But yeah, let's get stuck in. Don't forget to comment. So here we have the Queen 5 suited. I'm going to keep these HUD stats on, even though it comes from like a game where you can't build up big samples on people, just to give myself an idea of how the game's playing in general. Because my overriding suspicion is, well, not suspicion, just like my default opinion is these games are really nitty, but I don't know if they are or not. So I'm going to be looking at the stats as best we can. I'm not going to remember who the players were, but if I just can see like all the different stats, it might give me a better idea of how the games actually play, rather than just my preconceived idea of everyone's fucking nit. We defend the Queen 5 suited with a call, and we flop a middle pair on a pretty coordinated board. And theoretically, this is good for our range. I think theoretically we could have some donking here, but I don't think this particular hand wants to donk. That's my take on it anyway. So I'm not going to donk here. If I had a slightly different hand here, if I had a hand like say 9-8 or some other kind of like weakish draw, there's a good chance I would lead this. If I had a hand like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, I would maybe lead that too, but I think this hand's just a bit too weak to lead. I do check, Billy checks back, turns a 7. Again, now could we bluff with this hand, but what better are we getting to fold? Probably not a lot. I think my first instinct on this guy was like, right, okay, this guy doesn't have a straight. Probably doesn't have a straight. I can have lots of straights, but do we need to bluff? Are these players typically going to be content to check back a load of give ups here, some of which should be bluffing? Not sure I fancy check calling down too much, because I think maybe it's going to be under bluffed. I think like if these are just sat here with, say, I don't know, ace 9, ace 10, that kind of hand, king, queen, there's just a lot of giving up going on. So I don't love the idea of bluff catching here. Check again. We river a queen, and it's a heart. I think maybe we can have some leads here for value. In fact, I think we should have some leads here, but it's a 4-liner. I mean, I don't know if we should in theory. That's what we're going to look at in a moment. But in practice, can we just lead here? Get some hero calls, maybe some non-believing ace size. We just bet like 60% pot. Ace size maybe sometimes calls. Any kind of pair might sometimes call. Yeah, I think I prefer leading here in hindsight. I don't think I did that. I think I prefer leading. We did check. Villain now over bets. I mean, I can't remember last time I saw River overbet that wasn't a good hand, but we're pretty under repped. I remember this player now. I remember who this player was. Yeah, I think this is a mistake to call here, but we'll see. I did call, and we did lose. I mean, I thought there was a chance he might bet this on the turn. There's a player I slagged off in yesterday's video. I actually think, I don't know, or maybe it's in today's video, tomorrow's video, but this player in particular, he was getting on my tits in the video, and I was basically saying he was shy. I don't think he's shy. He does a lot of stuff that seems, when I check it back in theory, it's really quite good what he's doing. So he's either really, really good and just playing 10-0 for the lols, or he's a fucking cheat. Not sure which. Um, but yeah, he does a lot of stuff. He takes lines that usually like theoretical sizes quite often, pretty often. You don't often see him making like a size that you wouldn't expect to see. I think he's actually quite good. I hope he's not cheating. I hope he is just really good and he's not actually cheating. But it did feel at times like he might be cheating because he just seemed to, more often than not, he would just find the size that I would expect theory to make, and you don't see that at 10-0. He's an outlier. He's a massive outlier in the pool. He's either really, really, really good or he's cheating. And either way, I don't fucking like that. So here's the hand in the replay, and it's saying we made a mistake on the river. We made a wrong move on the river, in fact, and not just a small mistake. So this is fine. It's actually saying we should lead here. It's virtually mixing. I thought there'd be some leading. I just thought this hand was maybe like just too mid-rangey to lead. I didn't want to lead this. I don't really like betting out the middle of my range, which is probably going to come up quite a lot in this video. It's something I'm working quite hard on to just try not to make bets from like mid-range stuff. But it just about favours betting here, but I'm fine with checking. I don't mind getting the one tick for that. Turn, just pure check, no issue there. And river, there should be some betting, and I thought there should be. I would have used a bigger size than this. The size that I wanted to use was going to get an actual wrong move. Yeah, so to be fair, blocking just make more sense than using the size I was wanting to use. And now it's a pure call after checking, but we shouldn't be checking. It's a non-existent check, basically. So not a huge blunder by any stretch. We did lose some EV on the hand, but not a huge amount. How much did we lose on that hand? We lost whatever that means, 0.12. Does that mean we lost 0.12 of a big blind? Is that what that means? We lost 12% of a big blind? If that's what that means, then let's face it, I'll have made many, many worse mistakes in my life than that one. Next hand, Jack Queen suited. Let's sort this fucking stuff out. I've never had to sort this before because, quite frankly, I just don't fucking use it. I don't know why would I use my HUD, but I'm just interested. To look around the table here, we've got certainly looks a bit looser than my my thoughts on the game. So we have a villain here opening the bottom. This is like a super standard 3, but I guess these days we can do some flatting. And had I known there's a 29-4 in the big blind, I think this is a good flatting candidate. But I didn't know that, of course. So I elected to 3-bet. Villain calls on the button. We flop a flush draw and get an ace-high flop. Pretty good for our range. Very good for our hand. Well, not very good. We'd rather have made a straight or a flush or trips or something. But, overall, I think this is in my opinion, a pretty easy bet. I mean, I guess there might be some checking of this sometimes because like betting and getting raised would stink. So I don't think it's going to be a pure bet, but it could be. But I know it's a pure bet in my house. And I bet 1/3 pot. Villain calls. Turn 3 of clubs. Shouldn't really do much. I mean, does this guy have 4-6, 4 deuce? Probably not. I mean, never say never, but probably not. Probably doesn't have pocket threes. Probably raises 2-pair plus on the flop at some frequency. I think it's a reasonable barrel candidate, but again, we'll see afterwards. I do go with a barrel, and I go with a fairly chunky one. Don't know that I want to be betting this size. We've lost EV in this hand somewhere. Maybe this is where we've lost it with this turn size. Maybe we just go a bit smaller. I mean, it's only just over half pot. But maybe we just go a bit smaller. Maybe we don't even bet. And villain folded. So we'd certainly lost EV on this hand because I know we have. That's why we're reviewing it. And it could be that it's this bet size. So down here to the Queen Jack suited. Yeah, and well, flop and turn. Okay. So pre-flop's fine. There is a little bit of calling. I guess this number would come up if Solver knew the big blind was a 29-4, but we found the right play. Flop, 50% check. Wow, it wants overbet. I don't think I've ever seen an overbet. Well, I've seen them before, but I've never seen, like, when I've been reviewing hands, I've never seen it like want to overbet out of position in a 3-bet pot. I've never seen it want to do it. I wonder what else it's mixing in there. He's doing this like 1/5 of the time. So what else is it mixing in here with it? Like, 'cause obviously it's bluffing here. What's the value part? What's it doing for value here with this size? Small blind. It wants overbet. It only wants to overbet globally 10%, but it actually wants to overbet 20%. It wants to like double our frequency here with this hand. That wants to double the global frequency. So what's it doing it with? Ace king off, ace king, ace queen. It's doing it with a bunch of ace x. So what are the properties of these like offsuit ones? King queen with a heart. Basically wants to do this. I'll be honest, that's not what I'm finding. I presume it's going to be king jack and king 10 with a heart too. Just the king of hearts. So if you got the king or the queen of hearts, it's wanting to do it. But then just the king of hearts and the king 10 offs and the queen 10 offs and then the queen of hearts. Queen jack of hearts wants to do it. Queen jack offsuit with the jack and queen of hearts. And I guess this one again is just going to be. Right, so okay, right. I don't understand this, but again, it's interesting. Like king 10 off for some reason. Only wants to do it where it's got the king of hearts. But then these other ones, king, queen 10 off, all these other 3 around here, want to do it when you've got either of the hearts. Interesting. And I don't understand why. So if any, in the unlikely event that someone really good is watching this video, can you explain specifically why the king 10 off only does it with the king of hearts and not the 10 of hearts? Because I don't understand that. I really do not understand it. Pocket 6 is also wanting to overbet here. Yeah, so it's mostly just flush draws and ace x. And it's only ace king without a heart that wants to do it. So like the king of hearts, ace king with the king of hearts isn't wanting to overbet. And all of our ace king suited. Interesting. Genuinely think I've learned something there. Because I'd never considered ever using overbet in this spot. Never. But like ace king suited just wants to overbet here. Ace king off. Let me just get this right again. Ace king off without a heart wants to overbet here. Ace king with a heart. Ace king off with a heart doesn't want to overbet. Interesting. And the villain folded there. On to the next one. Ace queen off suit. Open blind versus blind. Get 3-bet by someone who's playing 43-14. I wouldn't have been aware of this at the time, obviously. Here. I think my default is just going to be 4-bet. Really don't like calling with this type of hand out of position. Although he's meant to be so polar, maybe there just isn't ever a 4-bet. Because he's meant to be really quite polarized here. Anyways, we did 4-bet and villain called. Get ourselves a top pair. I already know here my default is just going to be, if we 4-bet, we're just going to range bet around quarter pot, maybe even slightly lower than quarter pot, which is what we do. Villain goes all in. And I'm not going to fold it. I wouldn't imagine I'm going to fold anyway. We do not fold. Villain had 2 aces. And we lost a big one, but I don't care about that. It's, did we make any like significant errors? Ace, queen, offsuit. Where are you at? Where are you at, ace, queen, offsuit? Why can't I find this hand? That's this one. We skipped some. No, we haven't. Ignore me. I'm being a fucking idiot. So pre-flop, raise is fine. It just wants all in. I like that. I like just saying, fuck you, I'm all in, pal. In fact, I like that a lot. That's something I could take to the bank. When I get 4-bet with 3-bet blind versus blind, ace, queen, all in. Seems like a really easy strategy to implement. Seems far easier than raising non-all in and then almost always being forced to play flops. But we did do what we did. I mean, I meant to bet. I found the small bet, but it meant to be even smaller, just a little 10%er. So I found the small bet. I just didn't go small enough. We need jams. It's just a pure call. Right, okay, no problem. So again, not going to give myself not marking myself down for that. Just found the 20%er rather than the 10%er. Hit open, middle position, get called by the button. We flop ourselves 2 overs and a flush draw. And I think I'm going to want to have a C-bet here. 1/3 pot, something like that. A check, right? Okay, well, I wonder where I've checked there. Maybe it was a read on this villain in particular. Maybe I had a reading game. But I think I just overall, what I'm trying to do here is like, even when I'm playing at the moment, I'm trying not to like use reads as much as just like trying to be as theoretically correct as I can, ignoring reads. I'm only playing 10 and L. I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it because I just want to generally upgrade my baseline game. I've been trying to do it on my usual soft site, but those games are so fucked up soft that you just get into so many spots that are just fucked up and messed up. It's really hard to know what theory looks like. Really, I find it really hard. It's confusing me. So for the time being, I've decided to prioritize upgrading my game over making money. So playing low stakes where don't care about the money one tiny jot, and all I care about is just trying to force myself to do the thing I think is like okay theoretically. Is what we're doing for a little while. Fuck money. I don't really care. I mean, if I go a month not earning very much, it's really not going to change anything. So yeah, I think I prefer 1/3 here. We'll see when we review it. I think I prefer a C-bet. 2 overcards, decent flush draw. I don't think we're going to get too many immediate folds on our 1/3, but we don't mind. We've got 2 overcards and a flush draw, so we're going to improve fairly often. But we did check. Villain checks back. Turn 9. I wouldn't be surprised if I stab now, and I think after villain checks back, I think there's going to be a pretty bad stab with this particular hand. In theory, I'm going to have some hands here that want to bet. I have over pairs, flushes, some sets that turn into a full house, some trips. So I'm going to have lots of hands that want to bet. So yeah, maybe this hand just has to bet. Yeah, I'm having a rethink. First of all, I didn't think this hand would want to bet, but because we have plenty of value still, then I think this hand makes a reasonable bluff. Don't know if we want to go that big though. I think we probably just want to go small, like 1/3. I think this is too big. But again, we'll see. Villain calls. River ace. And I still retain all these flushes that I didn't bet the flop. I still retain all my full houses. I still retain all my trip 9s. This feels like a mandatory bluff to me. It's just a matter of sizing. Do I overbet or do I go, say, like medium size bet, like 75%, something like that? I think what would my flushes what I do here? I'm not worried about full houses. I think my flushes would want to overbet. My full houses would want to overbet. 9x maybe wouldn't want to overbet. But I think I prefer like small overbet here. I didn't find the small overbet. Villain calls. And they had ace jack. So my thoughts on this hand were maybe c bet the flop, maybe bet smaller on the turn, and as played maybe overbet river. So they're the things that I want to look at. We only made a very small EV loss on this hand, and it was river. Everything else was fine. So it's a pure checked flop, no betting at all, so that's good to know. Turn 50%, I was thinking maybe more this one, but turn 50% is easily the predominantly used size. And river, goodness me, it's just started absolutely cunting down. I know it was fucking sunny 10 minutes ago. I know it's pissing down. Anyways, by the by, it wants block here, like the overwhelming majority of the time, and then when it's basically small or overbet. So I'm glad overbet's in there because that was on review. That was my preferred size, but it just wants block here. So I'm interested to see what theoretically is meant to fold versus block from villain's shoes. So river, if we just, what size is it using for its block? I'm going to use 25%. Which it's not really allowing us to use now. It's unless I'm doing something wrong. But if we do say use this block size, Miller's only meant to fold 16% of the time, and he's meant to fold. Is he folding anything that we beat? 7, 6. So just folding some pairs out. And if we go with the overbet size, it's folding a hell of a lot more hands. So I think, even though theory here is saying block works well, it doesn't do a lot of folding in solver land. I suspect it does even less folding in the real world. I think I still prefer overbet here, and this isn't me poo-pooing the solver, but I think my instinct's to overbet here. Because do I think that these hands that are meant to fold, like the under pairs, like 6s, 7s, 4s, etc., do I think they're going to fold versus like quarter pot here, third pot, quarter pot? I don't think so. Do we have the required fold equity to make that bet? I mean, maybe we do. Probably we do. But I just prefer using the overbet size, I think. But not at the spot come up again and again. You more chance to review. That's the alarm I set before my delightful wife decided to wake me up with the fucking coffee at 8:30, thinking I maybe hadn't set an alarm. Anyway, next hand. Queen, queen. The villain open to 3x under the gun. That's usually a sign it's not a particularly talented regular. In speed poker pools, we 3-bet to 12. I think they should be bigger. I think they should be 13.5 versus a 3x, maybe even 14. But anyway, done what we've done. We've gone with this size. And let's call. We've flopped ourselves a top set. For me, this is a mandatory check. And we've got the board locked up with block calls like fuck. To me, this is mandatory check with top set. We do check. Villain checks back. Turn ace. I think in game here, I'm about to sneeze, excuse me. I think in game here, I'm going to end up betting too big. In hindsight now, out of the heat of battle, I like just small bets here. I like just betting like maybe 1/3. But I get the feeling I'm going to go bigger, and I don't think I'm going to like it. I do go just north of half. I think I prefer smaller here. Just such a good card for us to bet with range. Villain's going to have to do a lot of calling, a lot of uncomfortable calling with a lot of hands. Versus this size, that we let him off the hook a little bit with his like pocket sevens, pocket eights, pocket nines, that type. I think this lets him off the hook. I think I prefer a smaller size. I think I'm coming down with a cold, you know. I think I might be coming down with a cold. Which is a bit of a pisser, really, because we're due to be going to run a casino trip on Saturday. And the last time we organised a casino trip was all the way back in January, and I couldn't go because I had COVID. And it feels like I'm coming down with a cold again, and it'll be quite annoying if I end up being full of cold when I want to go to a casino, play a donkey and drink Guinness. It'll be annoying. I'll still go and do those things, but it will be annoying. Anyways, back to this hand. Queen, Queen, where are you? Here we are. And I just wanted the main reference point for me in this hand is I think my turn size was too big. And we actually want to bet on the flop as well. It wants half pot, so we got top set. And it still wants us to bet half pots. This is like another cliche I've got in my head, where like, oh, top set, you just check. Top set, dry board, just check. When he actually wants to bet 87% of the time in total. He's only checking 13%. So this is a pretty major fuck up from me. Even though we got one tick, I'm classing this as a pretty major error. Pretty major error. So why is it wanting to bet so frequently for half pot? Like what villain's meant to be calling here? Apologies if you saw Discord. There was nothing to see. It wasn't no state secrets getting thrown out there. So we want to bet half pot here. Villain's calling, which he's got a call with 2/3 of his range still. Ace King off's got a call. Ace 8, yeah, all these backdoor flush draws have to call. Even versus half. Obviously, all these top pairs need to call. All these pocket pairs are all calling at certain frequencies. Obviously, getting smaller as they obviously set. That isn't. Yeah. This is me just not misunderstanding or not understanding just how wide villains have to call, even versus half pot here. I just looked at the board and thought, I've got it locked up. Can't be c betting here because it's just gonna have to fold too much. But that's just not true. That's just not true. Check, check, turn. Yeah, he's wanting small bets. It's now also wanting a lot of checks all of a sudden. Probably because, I don't know. Why is it wanting to check all of a sudden? Why are you wanting to check all of a sudden? That's played. Check. Check. Turn was the ace of diamonds. So why are you wanting to fucking check? You wanted to check all your ace X, or you going to check some ace X? I guess probably because we've got like quite a lot of like, what's our flop checking range? Because we check the flop. I guess it's just like, well, you got to check the turn now, Reg, because you're meant to see bet quite like base. Yeah, but I think it's because we check the flop, and we check the flop when we're meant to see bet 90% of the time, nearly. So then when we just this turn comes, I guess it's just like, well, you checked already, Reg. You can't just start betting now very often. I guess that's what it is. Could we didn't see bet a spot which was like almost a pure range bet? I guess it's like, well, fuck it, you checked the flop, Reg. Continue checking now, dickhead. On to the next one. We open, we get 3-bet by middle position. 4-bet, they call. All very standard, flop top set. I am just going to range bet this pure, probably again, slightly less than 25%, a lot less than 25%. Maybe this is like a 10%er. Maybe is this a 10% spot too? We're going to find out. Turn a full house. Just keep betting small, I guess. The guy's only got 38 bigs left, which is probably going to mess things up a little bit. Assuming 100 big blind stacks here, I think I would just continue betting small here, like quarter pot again. I ended up checking here. Maybe that's just a function of his stack size. Just try and maybe he just puts it all in. I don't know. He goes with this. We now jam because he's got 18 bigs left and he finds a fold. And okay then. Let's see what GTO thinks of that absolute clusterfuck of a hand. Kings, where are you? Where are you, Kings? There you are. Quarter pot, happy days. Just want some 10% too. Fair enough. We already knew that. Oh, we thought we knew it. Turn, it's wanting. Oops. Hang on. Why are we getting we're getting the inaccuracy on the turn because we're going to go all in. It's not wanting us to do that. And I wouldn't have gone all in it had we checked here and found this guy had the same stack left. I would just have called. So again here, I'm not fucking bothered. We went all in because he had 18 blinds left and we presumed he was never folding. I would not have taken this line had he had more chips, so not too worried about that one. The EV lost there. Kings again. Open, button flat. 3-9-8 flop. I think we can do lots of different things here. I think. What do I think? What do I like best? I think I don't mind check raise here, you know. I think when we check here, villain's just going to stab a lot of hands. In reality, whether theory does or not, who knows? But I think in the games we play in the micro stakes poker world, I think when we check here, villain's just going to bet a whole host of hands: pocket fives, pocket sixes, pocket fours, some air, 9-8, 8x, 9x, 8x, ace 3. I think we're going to see a lot of stabs here. So I think I quite like check raise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be my default line here, as this is going to be a fun one for me to review. Because if we do go for check raise and it's like theory hates it, then I've learned something that I've learned that I'm doing something that is really not theoretically approved. We do go with check. Willen does bet small. We are going to raise. Maybe this size is too big. I think if we are going to check raise here, I think maybe just go to like 4x, 5x, something like that. I think that raise is too big. Willen calls. Turn 8, I suppose we have to check again. Because we just don't check raise 8x very often. So I suppose we start checking again. Reg, don't think I like this. Call. River a full house. Check shove. Oh, no reg. No reg. No reg. Isn't it weird how like when you're playing, you just because I've been 3 tabling, so you got other stuff going on. I think this is like turns check, But as played, I think this river's just a check shove. I think. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. King, king, where are you? There you are. No, it's not hitting it at least. It's we're not getting good scores, but we're only getting the orange circles. Open. Call. So we are checking, and we're checking absolutely pure. I like that. But we are raising, but oh no, we're not. Yeah, yeah, sorry. Split in between call and raise 50-50. Our size is way off. Um, we're not by miles. Where'd you go to 7.5 bigs? I went to 9, but it's saying here I went to 12. So this is just like I don't think it's fair that we get this. I think we should have got this tick, but we didn't. So deal with it, Reg. Turn, it's not wanting to check at all. I thought maybe we'd want to check quite a lot on the 8, but I guess because button in theory land is not bet calling much 8x on the flop. In fact, they're probably not bet calling almost any 8x. He's just happy that the 8's a brick and wants to just go bombs away. So I guess that's reasonable. If it's like quite often the 8 can be a bad card. If we bet this flop and they called, then the 8's a bad card for us. But if we check raise this flop, then I guess the 8's a brick really, because they shouldn't have much 8x in their bet calling range. Of course, now I'm seeing it, that makes complete sense. He didn't like my size here. He just like, yeah, you're a brick, mate. I just want to start plowing money into the pot. And then River, it's not remotely interested in check shoving. Because in my mind I was like, well, does like Jack 10 get here this way, and does it like take a stab? Probably just gives up though too often in theory and in reality. If we were to check here, which is theoretically incorrect, what what's supposed to bluff? So if we were to check this river and Willem was to go all in or bet, what what's in there? And put both sides in. Ace 9 is now supposed to value bet, obviously full house. 9's full. Jack 10 is meant to bluff. Jacks is meant to value bet. Queens is meant to value bet. But I guess a lot of these hands are just calling when we shove, like Queens and Jacks will be calling when we shove. 9's obviously calling when we shove. 8-7, guess it's B. 7-6, can't call but would bluff. But then if we like instead do what we did, which is we went all in, Williams meant to call half the time. So we're meant to get called by ace 9, we're meant to get called by king 9, queens, jacks, 10s, etc. Yeah, I think checking. No, because I think that even though they're supposed to find the bluffs with the jack 10, I'm not sure they do. But they might check back hands like queens and jacks. It's as daft as that sounds. That might easily happen in these games. So yeah, I like the jam. I like the jam. On to the next one. King 9 suited. We open blind versus blind. We get a call. Flip a gut shot. I'm rubbish blind versus blind. Absolutely fucking rubbish. I just feel lost continuously. I think this is a range bet. Queen 10x. Not bad for our range. We have a gut shot, etc. Did go with the bet. Turn 3. I think I don't want to check here and just have him just be able to just like attack how capped we are. Our range is already pretty wide. Our range bet doesn't do a lot to filter our range. If we start checking here, we're just going to get attacked a lot, I think. So I think I prefer betting with a hand that has like some like nuttish potential. Oh, I found the overbet. Okay, and calls. River 7. So when we get called in position on the turn with an overbet, can we block this river? Like fold out 10x, maybe? Fold out some ace high flush draws, fold out some like ace fives, ace deuces. With ace x, but you know what? I think I like block here now. I think I like block just literally to fold out is 4x, 10x maybe, some ace highs. I actually really think I like block here. Like really small. It doesn't make sense after overbetting turn. It's not. Well, maybe it makes sense. Maybe it's gonna like it sometimes. I don't know, but it doesn't feel right after turn overbet then block river. But I guess we sometimes want to block a queen x here because the 6-5's come in. Yeah, I'm interested. I think if I could play this hand back now, I'd like to block here. I'd like to bet like 10 blinds, 10 to 12 blinds. As played, we just checked. Bill and checked back. Ace 10. Wonder if he likes block there, because as played, I think I like block on that river now. Let's see if that's anything like correct. Where you at, King 9 of Hearts? Just pause while I find it, because I'm having a blind moment. I was having a blind moment because it wasn't on the screen. Oh, we've got a blunder. River, yeah. It's going to want bets. Happy with this. Not happy with our size here, but we found the bet at least. It's only checking 25% of the time. It just prefers bigger sizes. Turn, it wants to check half the time now. It doesn't mind overbet. Doesn't mind even bigger. But basically, do what the fuck you want, sizing wise. We're betting half the time, we're checking half the time. And then there's just a big mix of sizes. Wow, river didn't want block on the river. He wanted a fuck you over bet again. Just taking a moment to process this. Because in my head, I'm thinking if we go, I just suppose he's got to fold so much. I mean, the guy called, we literally seen in game, the guy called the overbet on the turn with a 10. This cannot call a river, you wouldn't imagine. So if we overbet river, is all 10x folding, in theory. We get to river, if we go with this size, Villain's folding 63% of range. Wow, a lot of Queen X is folding too. 10x. I mean, I guess there'll be some. Yeah, some 10x is calling. Ace 10, King 10 is meant to call half the time. Queen X is mixing between call and fold, depending on different things. King 10 off mostly folding. Ace 10 off is mostly folding. Queen 9 off folding. All this sort of like 10x folding. Yeah, so basically 10x needs to fold a lot. That's what we're learning from this. Like second pair is just nearly always folding. Here we are. We look at this pair here. Second pair nearly always folding. He's going to need like basically his calling range is going to be mostly. Well, he's not going to have calls. He's mostly going to be. Well, not mostly. A lot of the time we're going to be seeing jam. Top pairs folding sometimes. Second pairs folding nearly all the time. Low pairs folding a lot. Yeah. I didn't think we could overbet that river. But clearly we can. Ace King suited. This will be the last hand for this video. Then we've got another 45 minutes to do. We're probably not going to get through all the hands. We 3-bet the Ace King. Calls. Thoroughly miserable flop. I'm pretty sure I'm checking this nearly always. No diamonds, no clubs in our hand. Paired board. Just not a spot I'm going to want to see bet an Ace King off with these suits. Bill and alright, okay. It's going to be weird. Just call. Turn 10, check. Bill and bets. We just fold. I'm surprised this is classing itself as a existent spot because it feels like a non-existent spot to me. So we were on the King 9 suited. Drop down to this one. Here's King off. We 3-bet. It's not wanting check. It's just not remotely. And this is a pure check for me at the moment. In game, I am pure checking this. It's just like, fuck you, mate. I'm just betting half pot still. Or fuck you, I'm betting 3/4 pot. Right, okay. What are they meant to fold with these sizes? If we bet half pot on the flop, what do we get immediate folds from? That we'd want immediate folds from? Beating that, beating that, beating that, beating that, beating that, beating that. But we get some folds from all these pocket pairs. Like 7s and below just fold immediately. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. So if this board was, say, Jack 3-3, and let's put it as Jack 3-3, I imagine it's going to change quite significantly. So take these out and put 3 of diamonds, 3 of clubs in. Our small blind strategy then is going to be even less fucking checking on Jack 3-3. I thought there would be more because, like, surely the pairs fold less now. We bet half pot on this board. And corpse range. No, I don't fucking know. Meant to just fold 9s here. 78% of the time. Really? Really? I always wouldn't expect this. This is really, like, interesting for me. Because, like, I would just not, there's just not a chance, in my opinion, that the population is just folding 9s here. I mean, the mixing, to be fair, when we put the calls in, it is doing a fair bit of mixing. But then again, it's calling with some Ace King and Ace Queen that we're ahead of. It's getting some calls from the King 10s, Ace 10s. Yeah, I can see why it's wanting to do this, because sometimes it's getting folds from better hands. Sometimes it's getting calls from worse hands. It's very mergy, this, isn't it? It's actually a very mergy sort of bet. Because some worse hands are calling here and some better hands are folding. And it's just whatever. Call. Turn, check. He bets, and we're just pure folding. So, okay. Right. Who knew I was going to get 2 more videos out of this week? But that's what we're going to do. 2 videos today. You're going to see this. And after this, you're going to see me doing some live play in the ready games we've been reviewing. So, yeah, happy days. Probably overloading the content. I say we're not getting too many views, but I'm just enjoying playing a lot. I'm enjoying studying a lot, and making the content is just a no-brainer, even if it doesn't get many views, because I'm doing the work anyway. So why not just record it? Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and see you shortly with a live play video. Bye bye for now.